as this one begins. After practices Monday and Tuesday together, now they play a real game. And a good kick, 8 yards deep in the end zone, and the knee taken by Grant. T.J. Yeldon is the running back. They come out throwing, and he's on target to Allen Robinson, who's wrestled out of bounds after a short gain. Professional sports. Yeldon, the ball carrier. They're without Leonard Fournette.
Trying to quicken his release. Let's see where he is.
Design rollout, and he's on target for a first down. 4-yard gain and a first down. Yeldon again was himself a high draft pick. Play fake to Yeldon, and Bortles, it got it off at the very last minute, shoveled it ahead to Yeldon as Gerald McCoy approached.
Bortles, it's been pass protection and the lack of a running game as well.
The offensive line has really struggled. Bortles a deep throw looking for Allen Robinson, and a bit too long from the veteran Brad Nortman out of the University of Wisconsin. Short kick, and Humphries, after waving his teammates away, decided to get on it at the 17-yard line. Marpet is the center. It's the first time he's ever snapped in a game. Former tackle and guard. First snap is clean, and Winston's pass on target over the middle to Doug Martin, knocked down immediately by Paul Posluszny. Marpet did not play in their preseason opener at Cincinnati last week. A minor ankle injury. Doug Martin rumbles for a first down. Malik Jackson made the tackle. One game at the end of last year. He also did time in rehab in the offseason. Martin in the flat, and a good tackle by Telvin Smith to prevent Martin from getting away.
For Jason Light, the general manager, and Dirk Cutter, the head coach.
And again, that makes these reps important for Martin, trying to prove he's worth keeping around. Winston with plenty of time on target, first down. It's Cameron Brate, the tight end out of Harvard. #1 pick overall in the 2015 NFL Draft. The reverse. Here's Deshaun Jackson with blockers out in front. They had no deep threat last year on offense, and now they do with Jackson. Charles Sims, part of that deep running back group. Tackled by Tashawn Gibson. June and A.J. Boye with a hip flexor. 8th play of the drive, and the pass through the hands of Doug Martin on the near sideline. 2 linebackers in the nickel. Winston, after the fake, gets it off. First down inside the 20-yard line to Adam Humphries before he was driven back by Tashawn Gibson. They had a couple of joint practices with New England in Foxborough. They fake the toss to Martin. Winston dumps it off. Another big gainer. It's O.J. Howard, their first-round pick tight end out of Alabama, all the way down inside the 3-yard line. O.J. Howard, first and goal from the 2. Martin trying to beat Telvin Smith to the pylon, and he does. Touchdown, Tampa Bay.
When you can run it, you can set up the bootlegs and the play-action passes, and it's clear.
Here's Nick Folk. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. They cut Roberto Aguayo. You said Folk is our kicker, but they did sign this man, Zach Hawker, as an extra leg in camp, and he kicks off this time. Not as deep as Folks to start the game. Corey Grant out to the 20-yard line, flag down on the return. 8th season as an NFL referee. He refereed Super Bowl 50.
During return, holding, return team number 45. Penalty is 10 yards from the end of the run. First down.
Josh McNary called for the hold. Against Cincinnati, he was cut the next day, and Folk became their kicker. Chris Ivory goes nowhere. Had surgery to repair that torn ACL in November, but has recovered quickly. Bortles into a crowd intended for the veteran Mercedes Lewis. Best in the league last year, 34%. Bortles into traffic. Allen Robinson the catch. He lunged for the first down marker, and it doesn't look like he got it. They're going to mark it about a half a yard short. In practice and has 20 stitches in his lower leg, so Grimes not playing. Brad Nortman's second punt is much better than the first. Bernard Reedy trying to make it as an extra wide receiver and special teams player. That makes tonight important. Demonstrate he still has the high-level skills, but it also means he has to continue to do the right things off the field, and the coaches say he has. He looks terrific tonight. All day to throw for Jameis, and it's complete to Cameron Brate. Tight end who had 57 catches last season. First down Bucs out to the 42-yard line. They spent a lot of money to bring Squeezy over, $32 million for a 5-year deal. Winston right on target, and the Bucs look sharp here at the start of the game. Mike Evans to the Jaguar 36. Tackled by Tyler Patman. 1-yard gain. 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. It's been all Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and a huge hole. Doug Martin got blasted but picked up the first down. A big hit by Barry Church. Extra reps for Caleb Benenoch trying to make it as a reserve offensive lineman. Humphreys got hit high and low. So far Tampa Bay has marched right up and down the field. Jameis has had very little pressure, going to the end zone a little bit too long. Intended for Deshaun Jackson. Third pick in the draft in 2015 behind Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota. Winston over the middle. Humphreys, and a good tackle by Tyler Patman. And a sigh of relief for all concerned.
Hope. They have not run the ball in the last 5 years, and that makes it hard for anybody to play quarterback. They got to block better.
Walker kicks off. There is a flag down. The Buccaneers might have been offside. 11. And in Fournette, they believe they have what you said, John, the total package, and a man of remarkable character, given what you said. He told us the story about displaced by Katrina, lived under a bridge. I mean, that young man's been through so much in a very short life, 22 years old. And I know you really enjoyed, as I did, and Lisa did, the visit with him yesterday. Impressive guy, particularly when you know the backstory.
I sure did, and I
want to reset the entire approach here. No more talk about improving day to day or the process. The only word that they keep talking about is winning. Chris Ivory got the first carry and lost a yard. They throw the quick pop to Allen Robinson, and he's wrestled out of bounds by Ryan Smith. Third down and 3. Bortles given a good pocket that time. Robinson's open, and they can't make the completion. Ball hung in the air.
With the first unit to just see what I have.
Nortman the punt. Bernard Reedy the run back. And missed tackles by the Jags special teams, which were also a problem a year ago. And they brought in a new coordinator, Joe DeCamillis. Extra point. Jameis Winston. Now Jaquiz Rogers. He gets driven back after a gain of about 3. They've been given plenty of time by this offensive line. Jaquiz Rogers tackled along the far sideline by Sean Gibson. They bring a blitz. Winston gets it off for a first down, right on target. Plays fake to Jaquiz Rogers, and a deep throw for Evans, and it's off his hands and incomplete. It was Brian Dixon in coverage, and that looked like a ball Evans would ordinarily catch. Another play fake and another on-target throw. Evans hangs on to that one. He's very near another first down. I was 9. Brock Osweiler trying to get it to DeAndre Hopkins in Houston, and Phillip Rivers to Tyrell Williams. 12 for 15 for Jameis. Back to the run with Jaquiz Rogers. He got spun around by Posluszny.
Forcing the ball to Mike Evans.
Blitz picked up again. Wobbly throw, but on target to O.J. Howard for another first down. Inside fake again. Another slant to Evans and another first down. Watching where Jaguars struggle. Winston throws into a crowd, incomplete. Looking for Howard. He was surrounded by Jaguar defenders in the back of the end zone. They're averaging 7 yards per play here in the first half. 8.5 minutes to go until the break. They're poised to add to a 9-0 lead. Jaquiz Rogers inside the 10. Just 5'7" is Rodgers. Winston steps up, gets knocked down. Did he get it off? Perhaps he did, and it's intercepted by Barry Church. Officials are conferring, I believe. Now they have ruled Jameis down by contact. Doug Marrone has thrown the challenge.
Quarterback progress was stopped. Therefore, that play is not reviewable. Jacksonville will not be charged with a timeout in this situation.
So another field goal try for Folk. And that one's good. So after the blocked extra point for his first attempt as a Buck, Folk now 2 for 2 in field goals.
Jaguars can muster up.
Jack Hawker kicks off. Here's Corey Grant, trying to make the team as a backup running back and special teams player, and he's had a good camp. There is a flag down.
During the return, holding return team number 47. Penalty is 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down, Jacksonville.
Jared.
He spent a lot of time trying to quicken that release by not dropping the ball as he did a year ago. I still...
Bortles checks it down. Ivory with a flag down the secondary has the first down of its stands.
Holding defense number 54. Penalties decline. Yards gained is enough for a first down.
You know, these fun to keep an eye on.
Looks like he faked to no one in particular, and then he throws low for Allen Robinson. Did last season when the numbers were quite different.
Look, I know, Sean, I know
by Chris Conti.
That's what it appears to me.
They bring a blitz at him. He gets it off, and a catch not made by Robinson. There is a flag down.
Pass interference. Defense number 28. The ball we placed at the spot of the foul. First down, Jacksonville.
Lost 12 pounds in this offseason. He has the coverage on Robinson and makes the tackle.
Can match up with these big receivers.
Juggled and dropped by Mercedes Lewis. With second and 10. More pressure, and Bortles had no chance. Levante David was on him. On 3rd and 17, Bortles throws short. Mercedes Lewis taken down by Levante David, well short of the first down.
It's hard to get excited about it.
Nortman. And a fair catch made by Bernard Reedy. Sean Kaiser, the rookie out of Notre Dame, on their squad as well. Winston spins around, dumps it off, and it's a short gainer to Charles Sims.
They will.
We saw a lot of Brock Osweiler last year. If he's going to be anybody's quarterback. First and 19 after Tampa Bay penalty. And Charles Sims ahead for a couple. Last season, after Martin got hurt, Winston throws and almost intercepted. Diving effort made by Jared Wilson, but not surprisingly, Blake Bortles, the most turnovers in those 2 years. The check down to Alan Cross, trying to make it as a backup tight end and fullback. Helped himself last week with a nice game.
He did a couple good things last week against the Patriots.
Former Jaguar Brian Anger with the punt. Look out! Keelan Cole, the impressive rookie out of Kentucky Wesleyan. The story of the Jaguars camp brings this crowd to life for the first time tonight. 6-yard punt, 31-yard return. Here's the veteran Chad Henne out of the University of Michigan at quarterback. Right down the middle. Should have been caught for a touchdown, and it is dropped by Keelan Cole. Brown said he has made plays from the day he arrived. That really would have ignited the crowd if he caught the touchdown after his big punt return. Chad Henne. They bring pressure. He throws into a crowd, and it's dropped by Allen Robinson. There's a 40-yard field goal try by Jason Myers, and wouldn't you know, 2 dropped touchdown passes, and now a missed field goal. Winston and Tampa Bay leading 12-0 from their own 30 with all 3 timeouts, a minute 52 to go in the half. Lots of running room after the catch for Adam Humphries in an 8-yard gain. Hayes Pollard in on the stop.
Some of the screen, their sack leader got to deliver here.
Winston zings one a little bit too low, intended for Deshaun Jackson in Jacksonville territory. A lot of high draft picks, and they've had a lot of them with their struggles year after year. There's a first down on the quick hitter to Jackson.
Against a lot of Jacksonville backups.
They don't get anywhere near Winston. He's on target to Mike Evans for a first down to the Jacksonville 46-yard line.
That I think are exciting. He's just got to clean up a couple decisions that weren't good enough tonight.
Again, plenty of time to throw, and he's too high. The blitz off the corner, and he throws it in that direction from where the blitz came to Mike Evans. Short gain. Moted the head coach in Tampa Bay. They bring extra rushers. Winston gets it off for a first down. Humphries another catch to the 34-yard line, and now they're in field goal range. Every play. And the defense is largely based around their talents. The offensive line has to game plan for them. Fowler is in the witness protection program.
Also picking at the top of the second round and the top of the third round.
All 11 men were not set prior to the snap. It's a 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
There's nobody left from the 2013 draft. Not a player.
2 seconds to go. A timeout for Tampa Bay.
There he is.
Yep, there's some pressure, and Winston's pass falls incomplete.
He heard me.
Now Humphries is running, and there are no whistles on the field. And that might have been ruled a fumble and a touchdown, and that appears to be the case. Now the officials are running the huddle back at the 30-yard line.
Fowler against Wester. He comes off the edge. You see that move and that speed. That's a fumble.
And there weren't any whistles. That ball's out before the arm's coming forward.
The word on the field was that the quarterback, the ball was loose, so it is a fumble on the field. However, because we're inside of 2 minutes, a player as a teammate of the fumbler cannot advance it. So in this situation, the ball will go back to the spot of the fumble, and it'll be second down at that spot.
Four-man rush. There was a hold, and the flag is down. That was pretty blatant. Significant pass rush.
Holding. Offense number 73. 10-yard penalty. Replay second down.
Heard it. Deep over the middle. Godwin. Yeah, Chris Godwin, the rookie out of Penn State. They were just a player or two away from really being a power in the NFC. He hopes he's that player. Hail Mary, batted away to end the half. Myers kicks off for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the second half is underway. Josh Huff trying to make it as a backup wide receiver and special teams player. Great effort. Looked like they'd pin him around the 16. He got to the 24. Let's check in with Lisa Salter. On the field for 10 minutes out of the 30 in the first half. Ryan Fitzpatrick is now the quarterback. He handed it off to Peyton Barber. Luke Stocker, the tight end, the motion man. Jags tried to blitz. It's a slant, very close to a first down. Josh Huff made the catch. Charles Gaines the tackle.
There's helping Jameis Winston, who's still just 23 years old.
Nifty run, great balance. This back you like a lot. Peyton Barber, very sturdy 225-pounder.
Spencer, as the running back coach, that won't take long.
Barber, again, surging ahead across the 50.
They trust him. Has he resolved his off-the-field problems?
Because of the PED suspension, his guaranteed money doesn't kick in. Played Canadian rules in college, which are different from the rules in the United States. It doesn't look like Peyton Barber got there. A diet of Barber here in the second half, and they stick with him for the first down, powering down to the 43-yard line. Jerry McNichols in at running back now, a rookie out of Boise State, trying to make the team. Deep throw, and Fitzpatrick just threw it up for grabs. There is a flag down. The pass is intercepted. dubious as to whether or not Wilson made the catch, but for the moment that's the ruling, and the officials are conferring about it.
Offense number 70. The penalty's declined. Result of the play stands. First down, Jacksonville.
World champion powerlifter. I know you went to Belarus this summer to watch him. Now a strength coach with your brother Jay and the Washington Redskins, but
I don't recommend you go there.
Well, I know you and Cindy are glad you did. And you have 3 great children, and we all wish you a happy birthday.
Thank you.
Chris Ivory, short yardage, appeared to get it. He did get the first down.
Back position in any team in football.
A short gain there. Got a yard or 2. That's it. Corey Grant. Another short gain. Second half of last season. First year in the new system under Mike Smith. And it took the players a while, many of them, to adjust. Henny on target for Shane Wynn. Looks to be a first down after a 7-yard gain. Chad Henne, 32-year-old veteran. He told us yesterday he believes he can be a starter in this league, and he might get the chance right here in Jacksonville. Keelan Cole, another catch.
And remember, this man hasn't taken a snap in a regular season game in over 2 years.
He's been active for all 32 games over the last 2 seasons. That's dropped by the tight end Alex Ellis. That's supposed to be the strength of the group. Of course, Ellis is a tight end. That's Ivory. Dumped immediately by a Darius Glanton. Henny dumps it off short. And Mercedes Lewis, the 12-year veteran, 33 years old now. Lewis played in 154 games as a Jacksonville Jaguar. Corey Grant, tough run into Buccaneer territory to the 45. Out of Auburn. Signed by the Jags as an undrafted free agent. Allen Robinson, the catch and a first down before he was
Be that third corner.
on the delay. Kendall Beckwith made the tackle on Corey Grant. Henny, deep ball. Incomplete. Looked like Allen Robinson didn't see it coming with Ryan Smith in coverage.
Has become a really good Buccaneer.
Out with stitches in his shin, and Henny gets buried by the blitzing of Darius Glanton for the 5th time. 14-play drive for Jacksonville ends with the punt, and they can't prevent it from going into the end zone for the touchback. A wonderful, wonderful man and a great football coach in the College Football Hall of Fame.
And I know you gave
Hugh Millen, who was his quarterback in New England with the Patriots, summed it up very well. He had a unique blend of toughness and great competitive fire. Here's Huff on the end around into Jacksonville territory. The family.
Holding. Offense. Number 88. It's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay second down.
Back to Peyton Barber on the run. And Doug Marrone talked about it. You know, he and Tom Coughlin don't know each other very well. They go the best conditioned team. So with their common heritage at the Harvard of Central New York, Syracuse University.
defense, but they're going to be exciting on defense. I do know that. There's some really good players sitting up in the press box, and they know that.
They play football. Ryan Fitzpatrick still the quarterback for Tampa Bay. Comes out slinging. And there's Chris Godwin, rookie out of Penn State. Good for a 15-yard gain. Dumped off in the flat. Another good gain. This one to Bernard Reedy.
4.33 he runs. Quite a third-round pick. They're really impressed with his route running for a young man. Another flag.
Terry McNichols, the ball carrier. Jared Wilson made the tackle.
Holding. Offense number 70. 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Well, it's a nice way to make a little money on the side, but it's also just he wants to help people who need that kind of help, and it's an awesome thing. Good for him.
It really is.
That's Bernard Reedy on the catch. Jeremy McNichols
He's interesting.
Surgery really set him back, and as we've mentioned tonight, it's a deep running back group for Tampa Bay. Jacksonville blitzes. Nice job by Fitzpatrick to get it off.
Could go to French tomorrow and play.
Not sure if that's French, but I'll take your word for it. I took Spanish in high school, and on 21 out of 29. Toss to McNichols. Big tackle out there trying to lead the way. Leonard Wester, he's in a battle to the rope for a minute. That sounds like a good idea right around now. Incomplete pass on the 15th play of the drive. Of 35 and 29. This is from 47.
And defensively. So I just got to make great decisions and protect the football.
As you know, John Gruden has said you should be an MVP candidate this season. What personal goals have you set for yourself?
Anytime you can get a guy like that that can take the ball to the house, just give him the ball with 1 yard, or if he can stretch the field vertically, it's a blessing to have him here, man. I'm so happy that we got him.
Thank you, Jameis. Have a great season.
Thank you.
Sean.
Yeah, good night. He did have a couple mistakes he got away with. There's Brandon Allen, who is the new quarterback. He's been on their team for a year. They come after him with pressure. He's on target. Good hands catch by Rashad Green. Allen on the designed rollout, dumps it off for a touchdown for Jacksonville. Marquez Williams, the fullback.
And with that 7th round pick, they took Marquez Williams to play fullback out of Miami, Florida. And that might be reviewed. That's a touchdown. Jerry Austin says up here. I always agree with Jerry. But that's a heck of a throw by Brandon Allen on a bootleg to his left. His non-throwing shoulder.
Yeah. He'll do very well. Oops, little problem on the hold, and the kick is just a bit wide to the right. Matt Overton is the new snapper. Led the Jaguars to their first scoring drive of the night. Jason Myers kicks off. And Bernard Reedy.
It was weird, but then you kind of get used to it. You just kind of do everything normal. You know, sometimes they actually making the best throws, and that's how you're seeing him evolve. You've seen it out there today. You've seen it last week, and he's going to do nothing but improve.
You're always compared to Warren Sapp.
Around and clowning around, guys can kind of sense that they need me to be there, so that's just who I am.
We'll be looking forward to the next episode of Hard Knocks.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot.
He's a different type of player than Warren was. I just would love to see McCoy in a 2-minute drill on defense having to stop Drew Brees. And I do like that he plays a lot of snaps.
Ryan Fitzpatrick. Incomplete. Almost intercepted by Jerron Johnson. Ryan Angers punted for 4 years for Jacksonville after they drafted him in the 3rd round in 2012. Hangs it up high. Flag down at the 45-yard line. Clete Blakeman.
During the kick, holding, receiving team number 18. That means half the distance to the goal line from the end of the kick. First down, Jacksonville.
Will be in Minnesota. That'll be interesting. Kind of strange to watch Adrian Peterson play against the Vikings. March down the field. Dumps it off for Grimes. Gang tackled short of the first down by about 2 yards.
Got him.
Wide open, D.D. Westbrook makes a good catch on a high throw. And
4th in the Heisman Trophy balloting. 4th round draft
for
choice.
68 yards. All here in the second half with Allen at quarterback. Grimes the ball carrier. Best wide receiver. Grimes again. Shot down after a short gain. We're down to 3.5 minutes to go. They come with a blitz after Allen. Westbrook another catch and breaks a tackle. D.D. Westbrook down to the 30-yard line of Tampa Bay. He went all the way back to his grandfather Hank Bullock in the 50s. He went on to a long coaching career in the NFL. Allen looking for Westbrook, and there's a flag down in the secondary as the ball fell to the ground.
illegal contact, defense number 41. Penalties 5 yards from the previous spot, automatic first down.
For 7. For 107 yards and a touchdown, looking for more. Pulls it down and runs and slides down inside the 20. 9 out of 10. 2nd and 5. Inside handoff. It's Tim Cook, a rookie out of Oregon State, the ball carrier. Talking to people in the Jaguar building, they're not going to waste a lot of time with Bortles if they don't think he's the guy. Petey Westbrook made the catch for a first down. They blitz Allen. He has some running room and he spins down just shy of the first down marker. Poised to give them the lead. In the flat. It's caught. No, it isn't. Ball comes out. This is the running back on the left hip. A fade for Westbrook, and he cannot hang on. Here comes a blitz. There's a fade in the other direction. Incomplete. And I'm with you. You say you want to be physical. You say you want to run the football. When we are in Tampa for a Monday night game in December against Atlanta on December 18th.
A lot of great Buccaneers.
Complete passes as the Jags are poised to take the lead, assuming they could kick the extra point.
Really dangerous.
Ryan Fitzpatrick still a quarterback. He is going to be the backup. It was going to be a battle. They had Ryan Griffin, who were essentially very good special teams players. We watched these teams practice this play the other day. They're going to take a safety in the joint practice. So now the free kick from the 20, and Anger's going to punt it. This is a very good kick. And Shane Wynn reverses his field. Killed a lot of time. Didn't go very far, but it was interesting. Glad to have Marty back. And there's a chance. They need a touchdown to win, and they complete the pass to Westbrook. Big gainer. Boy, this has been quite the combination. Allen to Westbrook here in the fourth quarter. 35 now out of timeouts. 18 seconds to go. Allen cannot afford to take a sack. And he tries to get it off to Grimes at the last moment. And they're ruling it an incomplete pass with 9 seconds to go. Sports Center next with John Anderson and Kenny Mayne. Allen, wow. That doesn't do you any good at all. Talk about the competitiveness of Jameis Winston. You can see it's important to him that they win this preseason game. Allen throws it into the end zone, and it is batted down. And Tampa Bay, for the second year in a row in the preseason, comes into Jacksonville and defeats the Jaguars. 12-8 the final, despite some terrific work by Brandon Allen in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you too. Look, stay healthy. All right. All right, baby.
Sports Center is coming up next. Our final score, Tampa Bay 12, Jacksonville 8.